Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be to you. It is afternoon, mid-afternoon for me. It is a windy day here on WT Farm. You are new to my channel. I think you probably don't know much about me and I don't know much about you. So I thought I would do kind of another intro video for those of you that are new to the channel. First of all, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. I had started this channel basically just for myself, just a way to record my memories and the things that make me happy. And I decided, I'd been making these videos, posting them on Facebook and things like that. And I thought, well, why not? I'll make a YouTube channel. So here I am, Casey Whisperworks. I'm in Western North Carolina. I've been here on and off my entire life, almost full time now, pretty much for 25 years or so. I'm still not used to the winter. We are approaching winter months. In fact, today I found a woolly worm. He was solid black. For those of you that aren't from around these parts, we typically say that, if a woolly worm has a little bit of brown, it's going to be a pretty bad winter. But this guy was solid black, like not even a freaking hair of brown on him. So we might be in for a rough winter. We'll see. That being said, I've never gotten used to the winter. It is my least favorite. I am 7-layer Sally for sure. Anyway, I went to school here in Western North Carolina. I studied music, I studied botany, I studied art, and I love science, I love math, I love plants, I love animals, I love people, and that's the main reason for this channel, is just to spread joy and happiness in a world where I think we all need a little bit more of that. So I hope that my videos bring you some joy. And I want to know about you all too. If you have questions for me, I'd love to answer them. I'm going to try to think of some other things to talk about here. This is not a scripted, I'm not a content creator per se. I'm just a lady with some goats. I've been a little bit under the weather this past week, but you can't call out sick on a farm, so here I am. I'm thinking in the winter time you'll see some more art videos from me. I dabble a lot in mandalas. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment in some ways. I do enjoy very precise, fine line work. I do some neurographic style art, some abstract art. I love watercolor. Watercolor and black fine liners are probably my favorite medium, so I do enjoy that. Of course, I enjoy hanging out with the babies. And that is Bert and Ernie. They are twin Nubian goats, and I'll tell you a little bit about them as well. I'll tell you about the farm and our plans for the farm. Got these guys around my birthday this year, so they are not even 6 months old yet. They've been with us since they were 3.5 months old, and they're very, very sweet. Bert is the bigger of the two. He's the one on the, well, he's on one on this side. I don't know if it's your left or your right, but, and then Ernie is his little brother. He's a little bit smaller. He is also, Ernie is more prone to stomach issues. I really think he gets bloat a little bit here and there. I've had to give him some, we did have to get him some activated charcoal at one point because he was not having a good day. It was rough. But activated charcoal got that in him and he was fine. He was right as rain the next day. So, but I think he tries to keep up with his brother as far as eating goes, and he tends to overeat. They have been banded, and both of them, their testicles have fallen off. And now that has happened, they've been all but weaned off of any kind of kibble. They were getting kibble once in the morning and once at night with their alfalfa. I'll still give them maybe a handful, maybe. Every other day or so, and then they do have their medicated feed that we continue to feed them, also sparingly, because they've got plenty of stuff to eat out here. There's about 6 acres of kudzu. There's just all kinds of stuff for them to eat, so they don't really need the kibble, and they actually transitioned off of it pretty well. I had read some articles and some threads and stuff about people who had realized that they didn't really need the kibble that they were getting, and so they took them off, and their goats were just acting like they're starving to death. But you got to realize that these guys, all they think about is food all the time. That's all they think about. So they're not starving to death, even if they're crying. And they do cry. They're so funny. They also have not been dehorned and not getting them dehorned. Some people choose to do that. I don't. I didn't really find it to be necessary, first of all. And if you're going to dehorn goats, it really should be done when they're, 1 or 2 weeks old. And there's a couple of reasons why I chose not to. Mainly, the process, there's a couple of different ways you can dehorn a goat, and neither one of them, and none of them are very nice for the goats. They're painful, and you can cauterize them. Just imagine cauterizing your fingernails so they don't grow back. Or you can do they've got like a chemical paste, which is also very painful. And you need pain management, pain medicine for them when you do that. And I didn't see the need. These guys, to me, if you've got goats, spend time with them. They're not aggressive animals, especially if they've been, if you're not going to breed them, you can, get rid of their testicles, take their little sacs away, and they won't go into rut, which rut is what can cause that aggressive headbutting and gouging of things. These guys, they like to headbutt each other occasionally. They're not as playful as other goats that I've had in the past. I grew up with Nubian and a Willie goat, and my partner had Alpines at one point. Nubians will get to be about, most of their herd was probably around 130-ish pounds. That's probably about their average, so they'll probably be about that. I'm sure Ernie will always be a little smaller, but, yeah, so that's a little bit about us. Long-term plans for the farm, I definitely want more animals. I'm pretty sure next project is going to be chickens. So I've got all this stuff to build a chicken coop. I'm going to get that going this winter. Get it all set up, get it ready for them, and then hopefully in the spring get some chickens. So I'm looking forward to that. And there is definitely some concerns with goats and chickens. You got to make sure that their feed and their housing is separated so neither one of them can get to the other. Goats will eat until they make themselves sick. And bloat in a goat it happens so rapidly, and they can get sick very, very quickly, and it can be fatal. So you got to be super careful. And they don't stop eating when they're full. They don't have that mechanism built in them. So when you have chickens, if you're feeding your chickens, you got to make sure that the goats can't get to it. And also, from the research that I've done, chicken poop can cause issues if it gets into their food as well. So there's still some planning in the works of how exactly I'm gonna get this chicken coop and their big boy pen, which is still not done. Right now they're on the porch. My partner said, "Oh, we're never gonna have porch goats." Well, we got porch goats, but for now they're fine. But there's still a little bit of shoring up to do before we get this next. We're gonna get a cold snap here, I'd imagine, probably in the next week or two. So there's a few parts of the pen that need to be windproofed and a little bit more of a roof added. As of right now, they're basically just right up against the house and the back porch. So anyway, I think that's all for now. I hope that you all are having a wonderful day. I'd love to hear, especially if you're other goat owners, Nubians, Alpines, whatever other goats. If you own goats, let me know what kind of goats you have. Tell me about them. What are your tips and tricks? What are some of the mistakes that you made that you wish you would have known? And it is a little bit trial by error, and I've tried to do as much research as possible to keep these guys healthy and happy, and to make it as easy as possible, not only on myself, but on them as well. Their next thing in the next week, I'm going to get their hooves cleaned. Their hooves are looking good, but I want to keep it that way. And they do spend some time out here on this gravel, which I think helps. But we, here in Western North Carolina, we get a lot of rain. And so they're going to be more prone to getting, hoof rot. Don't worry, they'll never get to that point with me. But it can cause issues. So you got to make sure that you get their hooves cleaned and trimmed. So we'll see. But they're still, like I said, they're less than 6 months old. So there's a lot to go A lot of time left to go with these guys. And something's running through the yard. Oh, it's a cat. It's Rizzo. Hey, Riz. This is one of our other pets, Rizzo. He's a good boy. He showed up here about, probably about 5 years ago. And he was not even weaned yet. So he is just a big old love bug. And there is another cat, Mew Mew's, but unfortunately Mew Mew's took off about 4 or 5 days ago, and I have not seen him, so I'm a little worried that the forest may have got him. He was feral when he showed up, and I have no idea how old he was. I'm guessing he was probably maybe a year old. And so he would not let anybody touch him for 3 years. This cat would not let anybody near him. We did get him fixed, and that in itself was, it took 3 people in a welding glove. I'll just leave it at that. But we did get him fixed. And of course, still, he didn't want to be petted. He comes in and out of the house, got a little cat door. And finally, one day, I had tried and talked to him and tried to coerce him with treats and all that. And he wasn't having it. He didn't want anybody to get near him. Finally, one day, he kind of went like this on my hand, and it was a breakthrough. And since then, you still can't pick him up. That's just not going to happen. But since then, you can come up here. Since then, he's come a long way, and he's so loud and he's so annoying, but I do love him. So I'm kind of worried that he's not been around for about, we're going on day 6 today, actually. So yeah, I don't have high hopes right now. So anyway, but yeah, that's our babies. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I would love to get some sheep, but we don't really have grazing pasture for sheep. So I don't know. I'd love miniature donkeys would be fun too. Maybe one day I'll be able to get a tax write-off for a farm. All right, I think I've rambled on enough. But thank you again for tuning in, for subscribing, for watching. Just remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Kindness is free. Oh, gross, he's got a big old tick on him. Well, I got to deal with that now, so. All right, take care of yourselves. Much love.